Ahmad Blakemore, I have come here to answer your questions. You want to know why society loathes the phrase, "I've done my time," in reference to people convicted of sex crimes. More specifically, why they hate when you say it. First, let's hear some of what you have to say.
The beginning of repentance starts with, "I've done my time."
Correction! Repentance is sincere regret or remorse over the things one has done. For you, meatbag, the process begins with sincerely regretting what you did to your victim. This, Ahmad, is but a piece of why people dislike hearing you say you did your time. You act like a 5-year timeout with Big Bubba somehow mitigates what you did to get there in the first place. Prison is the punishment. Merely being punished does not equate to repentance. Ever heard of repeat offenders?
Indeed. Spoiler alert, the victim will not come up once in his meandering, self-serving, obtuse babble.
The DA gave him some time. The judge agreed. It was hard time and harsh,
Prison isn't supposed to be a picnic, my guy.
but he did it. He accomplished the goal.
Goal?
He did what they asked him to do.
It doesn't sound like it. One of the things they usually ask you to do is admit what you did, especially in a plea bargain. Again, it's impossible to believe you simply walked in, stuck your probe up a poop chute, and walked away. There was probably grooming. You definitely did more. And acting like prison covers you for that is warped. The law may be fine with it, but the law also says we have the right to our own opinions. In our opinion, you didn't do nearly enough time. We'll get to why in just a moment. Back to you.
And he came out on the other side of it. And he thinks in his mind, because he was punished, because they gave him punishment and told him what he was supposed to do, and he did it, that would be satisfactory enough for them and satisfactory enough for society.
Let's imagine another kind of crime, one slightly less prone to violate terms of service. Imagine someone decides to become a serial killer who only targets people who committed the kind of crime you did. Note, this is not a threat. I will never inflict physical harm or death on anyone who is not immediately threatening my life or the life of someone else. However, it shouldn't be too hard to imagine this scenario. This person kills the young man from your story and several dozen more people from the offender registry. Later, when they are caught, the prosecution decides that they can only guarantee a conviction for just 2 or 3 victims. Your friend is not one of them. At trial, the defense attorney is skilled. The prosecution's case gets iffy, so they offer a plea deal. Instead of first-degree murder, the serial killer pleads to second-degree murder on 1 victim alone. They receive a 20-year sentence, but because they are a model prisoner, get out in half the time. Upon getting out of prison, when a relative of a victim asks if the killer is sorry, the killer responds, "I did my time." He then looks at you with eyes completely at ease with what he did, and apparently equally at ease doing the same thing again, maybe starting with you. Now does "I did my time" even begin to sound like anything has changed? Back to you. You did a nickel in exchange for some disgusting pleasure in the victim's entire life course. How would you have handled being probed by a grown man before the age of 13?
But it's not. You see, the judge used guidelines to sentence him. The DA used guidelines to sentence him. The level of prison that he went to was used as punishment. And all the things that he went through while he was in prison served as punishment. And he overcame that. And for him, "I've done my time" is victory.
This kind of
God has
attitude,
given me a
the
second opportunity.
"I survived prison in one" mentality, implies that you feel like you paid a fair price for your crime. Who says you won't do it again? Hate to break it to you, but Having religion and wearing a cross is no guarantee you'll never target a child again. Ask some of the Catholic priests who must have already reached out to you.